Nestled deep within the rolling hills, there stood an ancient farmhouse, its paint peeling, windows cracked, and the air around it thick with a malevolent presence. The locals spoke of it in hushed tones, referring to it only as the cursed farm. No one dared to venture near after sundown, for fear of the horrors that were said to lurk within its decaying walls. One stormy night, a group of thrill-seekers, Tom, Lisa, Jake, and Sarah, decided to put the rumors to the test. They had heard the tales of blood-soaked floors, phantom screams, and an unspeakable evil that had claimed the lives of the farm's original inhabitants. Armed with flashlights and bravado, they made their way through the rain-soaked fields, the wind howling like a warning through the trees. The gate creaked ominously as they pushed it open, the rusty hinges screaming in protest. As they approached the house, a sense of dread washed over them, but they brushed it aside, attributing it to the atmosphere. The door, surprisingly, swung open easily, revealing a dark, cavernous interior. The smell of decay and something far worse assaulted their senses, but they pressed on, eager to uncover the secrets within. The walls were lined with old, yellowed photos of the farm's past owners, stern-faced men and women, their eyes seeming to follow the intruders as they moved deeper into the house. Cobwebs hung like tattered curtains. The floorboards groaned under their weight. Tom led the way, his flashlight beam cutting through the oppressive darkness. They found themselves in the kitchen, where an old table stood in the center of the room, covered in a thick layer of dust. But something caught Sarah's eye, a trail of dried blood leading from the table to the cellar door. Her heart pounded in her chest as she pointed it out to the others. "Do you see that?" she whispered, her voice trembling. Jake, always the bravest of the group, moved to the cellar door and grasped the handle. It was cold to the touch, as if it had been pulled from a grave. With a deep breath, he yanked the door open, revealing a set of stairs descending into pitch blackness. "Come on, let's check it out," he urged, though his voice lacked its usual confidence. One by one, they descended the stairs, the darkness swallowing them whole. The air grew colder with each step, and the smell of rotting flesh became overwhelming. Lisa gagged, covering her mouth with her sleeve, but they pressed on, compelled by a mix of curiosity and fear. At the bottom of the stairs, they found themselves in a large, dimly lit room. The walls were stained with blood, and the floor was slick with it. In the center of the room stood an altar, crude and ancient, made from twisted wood and bones. Candles flickered around it, casting eerie shadows that danced across the walls. On the altar lay a book, bound in what looked like human skin, its pages yellowed and covered in strange symbols. Tom approached it, unable to resist the pull of the forbidden knowledge it promised. As he reached out to touch it, a low, guttural growl echoed through the room. They froze, terror gripping them. As the growl grew louder, closer, the air grew heavy, suffocating, as if the very walls were closing in on them. Suddenly, the candles extinguished, plunging them into complete darkness. And then, the screams began. Jake was the first to go, yanked backward into the shadows by something unseen. His screams of terror were quickly cut off, replaced by the sickening sound of flesh being torn apart. The others tried to run, but the darkness was alive, clawing at them, dragging them back to the altar. Lisa's flashlight flickered back to life, illuminating the horror before them. Blood coated the walls, dripping from the ceiling like rain. The remains of Jake were scattered across the floor.